Hello, humans of the internet. Welcome to Azurhia Under the Hood. It is a Thursday morning here in New Zealand, and we're gonna do some building of skill trees today, which is quite fun if you're me. So, welcome to my nerdiness. Thanks for coming along for the ride, and we're just gonna jump in. So I'm gonna just do this so you can see my spreadsheet of doom. It's not pretty yet. Someday it might be pretty, but I was just looking at it and thinking that I'm going to turn Veritas down just a touch. Don't be so noisy. Oh, that's not the turn it down button, Jax. There we go. We like Veritas as background music. He makes astonishingly cool background music. Okay, what I was going to say is I want to actually divide this into 3 different tabs. So I'm going to just make 2 duplicates. Create a copy. Before the magic tab. And another one. And then this one's going to be this is very much a Jax and spreadsheeting thing. I end up with lots and lots of tabs, but it helps me organize my brain. So that's what we're doing. Ancestry. And then will be class. And the class one is the one I want to start working on today. The last episode we did, we were working on ancestry trees, but the thing we discovered is that actually most ancestry skills are shitty racist skills. They make assumptions about a person based on their ancestry. So, and I have this really strict, like it has to be a physical thing. You know, cats can climb, fish can swim, that kind of stuff. It can't be you're a mountain elf, so you automatically are good at mountains, because you might be a mountain elf who was born in the middle of a city. So yeah, so here I am just going to get rid of these ones. It just means that we can build the 3 different things. Man. Separately as we come up with ideas. Sorry. Early morning Jack's voice is sad, especially after Jax is not a gamer streaming yesterday. Rolling for racial skills? I still feel like anything that's not based in the physicality of the ancestry should be based on your background rather than on your ancestry. It was just a thing we noticed going through it last time, that a lot of those ancestry skills were a little bit kind of making a lot of assumptions about people, put it that way. And even like we fell into it, we were like, mountain elves will be good at geology. And then I was like, but would they? What if you're a mountain elf who just hangs around reading books all the time about, I don't know, something that isn't geology? Maybe you're not good at geology. So yeah, it's exactly. And I really want the ancestry ones to be very much nature. Like they are things like climb speeds and swim speeds, like stuff that would make sense for the body you live in rather than other things. And all that other stuff really should be built into background stuff. So we may end up with a skill tree for backgrounds, but I'm gonna not even go there just yet. So if I do this, why didn't you go back to the size you were before? There we go. Going to go into good old world anvil. Oh, I probably should have done this earlier because it might ask me for a password. I don't know. No, I'm still logged in. Woo. Okay. Because I have a list of classes here, which we're going to use as our starting point. So this is certainly not intended to be a comprehensive list necessarily just yet. But it will give us a starting point. And I'm going to start with one of the more classic. I don't know why I've got barred twice. Why have I got barred twice? Seriously, Jax? Please get rid of one of those. I do not need two bards. Nobody needs two bards. Cleric, druid, fighter. So I will probably either do a sorcerer or a rogue, being that those are characters I have played and therefore understand the best to start off. And I think when we start going through this, you will see what I meant about how a lot of the skills that are built into the leveling of classes are actually the same across all the classes. They just happen at slightly different points, and they are called different things. But realistically, everybody gets a perception buff. Everybody gets I think at some point everyone gets buffs to at least 2 or 3 of the main stats. I'm just like, can't we just do that as a generalized thing, and then, people can build their person as in a way that makes sense to the story. Summoner. So I think when I did this, all I did really was I pulled out the classes that were being used in the Horde at the time, and I may have pulled out the other, just the like standard Pathfinder classes. Okay, so that's what we're starting with. I'm just going to make this nice because I am that. Why is Veritas screaming at us? Okay, what are you? Column width is 5. Oop, go away. I'm gonna make all of the column widths 5. Oh, fuck's sake. Wrong thing, Jax. Helps if you click on a column. There we go. Yeah. 5. Just means we're dealing with squares, and then we can expand as we wish. Okay. Are you going to go back to the right size? No, of course you're not. That would be too easy. Okay, so I think we're going to start with a rogue. So we're going to start from man, I don't know why I'm so freaking coffee this morning. Classes. So my plan basically is to just go through the skills and feats that are in Pathfinder and lift what I think makes sense, adjust it for what I want it to do, and make up the things that I want more of. I don't want bards just yet, thank you. Rogue. Okay. So, how did I do this with the ancestry? Okay. So the idea is that you would have a few starting skills when you choose the class, or you would have a set number of skill points to spend as part of the initial character creation, and then as you move through the story, you would unlock further stuff. So I would say that rogues automatically get a anatomy about that. +1 to Dex. Yeah, see, I feel like this should be later. A lot of things I'm like, it's level 1. You're at the start of the story. You're at the start of the story. Okay, so. The other thing I really want to do is, or the other thing I am doing is having hit dice. What did I do? Put that in here. Oh, maybe I haven't done. Oh, there we go. Sorry. Apparently I can't think and talk at the same time today. Hit dice for both class and ancestry. So if you are a big buff orc, your hit points go up faster. To me, that just makes sense. So you start with 8, and then you have plus 1d8. God. There we go. Okay. So your starting hit points would be con plus your class HP plus your ancestry HP. That would be how you get your initial. What is the core of the rogue class? It's a combination of dex and charisma depending on the kind of rogue, I would say. Because I think rogues include, pickpockets, locksmiths, sneaky cat burglars, but also con men, hustlers, that kind of thing. My rogue that I played she was an assassin rogue, so it was D&D. She was an assassin rogue, but she was a halfling, so she was this adorable little blonde, pigtailed, blue-eyed halfling who looked like a child, and her whole shtick was that she would convince people she was a sweet, innocent little kid, right up to the point where she stabbed them in the belly with her knives. But she was also, like she was a con artist, that was her. Okay. So, I guess would have, right, not there, this one. So this is HP. This is, let's just move this down one. This is base skill, base stat buffs. Expertise. Just that. Okay, and then we would have something like so rogue skills would be things that we would call feats. So they would fall into, just going back to my base character stuff. I don't even get that far apparently. Expertise, but there's also a skill set. Yeah, which is, so that would be specialized things specific. So like sneak attack would fall into that category, for example. Okay, so I'm going to actually leave this quite open. I'm going to say you get 2 So that could be things like lockpicking, stealth, climbing buildings, rooftop combat. I don't know, like any two things that make sense based on what this character's background would be, that are specific. I suppose I should say that to your roguish. How do you spell roguish? Roguish, roguish, roguish. Yeah, something like that. So you pick two things, which is kind of where it's the base of where your character has started their rogue journey. Again, first level characters should not have 50,000 things they can do. That makes no sense to me. You don't start a story with people who are already brilliant at everything. That's just boring. Okay, and then I would say you are expertise in particular weapons. Roguish, did you look it up or do you just know? So that's like daggers and darts or whatever. Okay. I think that is that simple. So, this is where it gets interesting. I'm going to actually open this. Oh my god, seriously? Why won't you let me open it in a different tab? That's stupid. Aha! You just got to keep pressing the buttons, Jax. Oh my god, really? Dumb. Okay. Yeah, so a lot of these are just true Pathfinder style. You've got to click through 50,000 things to find them. Yeah, they're just... Okay, we're gonna just ignore that for now and just work our way down here. So, attribute boosts, blah blah blah. So this is where it gets complex. Because it's going to fracture. So I like the idea of the rogue's racket. Like, what kind of rogue are you? Not keen on the word racket though. I'm gonna just go with rogues. Actually, let's make that a separate thing because I feel like some of them. Oh, move the sorcerer over. Move over, sorcerer. So subclass options. So the idea here would be you pick a subclass and then it opens up options under each one. Hustle. Ha, that's quite cool. The thing is, not every rogue is hustling, right? Like if you're a cat burglar, that's not a hustle. That's a different thing. I'm going to keep it nice and neutral for now. We can always jazz it up later. So, I'm going to just steal theirs and then we can figure out what we want to change as we go. So, Mastermind, Ruffian, I guess that's just a scoundrel. Scoundrel's such a great word. This will look pretty one day, I promise. Probably a thief. Alright, yep. And I'm going to throw in an assassin there because I have a real, having played an assassin rogue, I have a real love for assassin rogues. Okay. So sneak attack would fall into this. I'm gonna just, we all know what sneak attack is. And then increase sneak attack by 1d6. And then we'll just have a few of those. So basically, as you move along, you can use your skill points to make your sneak attack better. This allows people to actually build that if that... Seriously? That's not what I wanted. There we go. Spy. Oh, spy. Yeah, spy's probably a good one too. Especially given Azurhia, we seem to have a lot of spies. Investigator is its own thing. I think there's a whole class of its own for investigator. So I feel like spy is the roguey version, and investigator is the like PI version. Okay. Then see what I mean about how it's just going to keep expanding like crazy. So this will be surprise, surprise. Um, well, maybe not. I'll leave that for now. Okay. Skill feats. Okay, so that's just the what in this system will be expertise like points, which we're doing in a different way. So I'm gonna ignore that. I need to decide if I want attack of advantage or not. Advantage attack or not. I keep going backwards and forwards on it. Like, I feel like it makes sense to me, but I can't tell if it makes sense to me because I started with 5e or whether it actually makes sense to me. I think maybe keeping it as something that you have to actively choose and then actively choose to deny if you're. So you can actively choose it if you're like someone who is quick or particularly trained in fighting, so like fighters. And I guess rogues would also get that potentially. Or if, and then you can also, yeah, let's go with that. We're gonna go with that for now, and then so again to attack. We'll know what opportunity attacks are. Virtue, we can't spell it though apparently. Attacks and deny advantage. Gauge, it's essentially preventing. So those are two different things that you can, so they're actually probably side by side. Okay, I might have to just spend some time prettying this so that I can, otherwise it's going to get out of hand real fast. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just merge this. Merge and center. We're going to make that bold. We're going to make it bigger. We're going to not use that shitty font. Fonts are important, you guys. I need a nice font. I'm a fan of Calibri just because it's real clean. Okay, can I do? Is there like? Oh, there is. Thing where you set it as. I haven't done styles in Excel so much. I've done a shit ton of styles in Word, and in Word there's a thing where you can go make the style the thing that you're looking at. But that's fine. Center, center. I don't care about that. I want font. I want it to be, what did I say? Calibri. Okay, Calibri. I want it to be build. I want it to be 20. I want it to be black, please. Thank you. And I want a. Sure. Let's make it blue. blue. Don't need it to be that intense. Here we go. Outline. Okay. Okay. Didn't even do the thing. Cell styles. This one, please. Hey! Cool. Times New Roman. Oh, bless. I feel like you're showing your age. I like Calibri because I was always an Arial. Like, I like the sans serif fonts, especially on screens. I just find them much cleaner and easier to look at. But when Calibri came along, I was like, oh yeah, this is great. I also use, there's one called Comforter. I don't know if it's on here. But at work I use it a lot because it's, there we go. Oh, it looks terrible on there, but because it has a similar, like, hello, we are an early childcare center vibe as things like Comic Sans, but without the, it's a little cleaner as well, which I like. Okay. So HP is fine, base expertise. But this needs to be merged. This needs to be merged. I'm gonna make this. You get to watch me just format my thing. We're gonna use the same color for that. Do the same outline for that. We're going to use the same font for that. Calibri, but not as big. We're going to go with 16. Okay. Okay. And then going to heading to. Oh, I didn't tell it to. Center it. Please center it. Gracias. Cool. Alrighty. And then I'm going to make these format. Still want it centered, thank you. Still want it. Oh man. Okay, styles are much easier on Word. I'm just saying. Make you. What did we make the other one? 14 maybe. Oh no, I just cancelled it like a numpty. Like a numpty. Format. Boom. Welcome to Jack's Format Spreadsheets. Jax is nerd in public. Again, as usual. Center. Center. Okay. Oh, you know what, actually? No, this is still a heading. Okay. Can you tell it to... Okay, that's fine. Okay, so this one will be 3. This will all be 3s. This will be 3. Okay. Hey! Didn't do what I wanted. Sure so. Did it not? Am I dumb? Am I dumb? Why hasn't it done the whole outline? Bro, do all of them. Why are you not doing all of them? Oh well. Alright, we will just make these bigger. I actually want is all of those to be the same. Oh, it won't let me. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. And then these. I'm curious as to why it hasn't actually given me the full outline for these, but anyway. Anyway. Okay. And then this will just be that forever, basically. And then do styles. To be bottom, but oh yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah, nah, I sound like a been in Kiwi land too long. Yeah, nah. Calibri. It's really funny because Kiwis are like, you sound South African, and South Africans are like, you sound Kiwi. And I want you to wrap these ones. That's what I was looking for. Okay. Okay. Cool bananas. Still don't know why it's not giving me the full borders on those. Strange. About to get real, like, obsessive about this. Left, right, bottom borders. Yes. Odd. Then it's not letting me do it. I don't really want that color. Oh well. Oh well. It's all good. Okay. So. Yeah, the US has a lot of accents though. Like that is a thing that I think people forget. I mean, South Africa also has a lot of accents, if I'm honest. But yeah. Okay. It's a general feats. Weapon tricks. So maybe we let's go increase one expertise or add new one. So the idea is that each of these would have I'm probably going to have to do an extra. Each of these would have like a points level, something like that. Hard to do when I can't see what I'm doing. Okay. I really wish it would just take it back to the size it was at. Anyway, and then we'll have a few of those, so you can do that at any point pretty much. 2. No, no. Oh my god. I know you think you're being helpful. Okay. How do you feel about weapon abilities? If you get good with weapon, you can now do tricks. Yeah, that's kind of where I was going with this, is I feel like the weapons expertise, because the expertise is going to work in the same way that Pathfinder skills work, which is to say it will have levels. There will be a stat increase. So if you are particularly good with daggers, for example, and you take one of these, it means that you can push your daggers up that scale, and each increment on that scale would then have potentially an attack buff, a damage buff, and then maybe something like that. Like when you hit, for example, I'm probably not going to use their didn't do this very well. like, I see what it's done. Okay, it's been helpful because I set the expertise 3, and then so it would have untrained is just nothing. Untrained is just 0, right? So it would have trained. See, I can't even remember the Pathfinder ones, but I wanted to have 5 levels. So the 5th one will be legendary because I like that. Is expert the next one? I believe you. Master. Yeah, I think it actually only has 4 because it includes untrained as one of them. So I want something between master and legendary. It would also be very cool if it makes a word. What's a 5-letter word starting with T? I want it to be an acronym. This is why everything takes me so long, you guys. Let's see what we got. Just because tasks, that could be fun. Just because if it's an acronym, it's easier to remember the order, right? And ending with L. That's not how you spell with. With. Oh my god. With L. Oh. Oh, jeez, okay. Towel. Trained. Outstanding. No, that's not the word. Troll. Twirl could be fun. Trained. Competent. That TC isn't going to work. Qualified. Just if it's an acronym, it makes it easier. TE something something L. It's going to be like a crossword helper, right? No, I don't want a book. Mighty ape, you dick. I just want something that's going to be like, okay, it is a 5-letter word. It has T, E, no, oh my god, E, M, something, L. Let's see if it can give me something. No match is fine. Alright, what if we take the M away? Those are terrible words. Maybe this is a stupid idea. Skilled. Oh yeah, maybe we put S here. TSEML. It's not an acronym, but I guess it'll do. Anyway, the idea being that each of these would give you a like bonuses. So if it's weapons, it would give you attack, damage, and then something else. If it's something, yeah, like, and I kind of am leaving it open on purpose because then we can negotiate it, and that's always fun. Because all my favorite players are the ones who negotiate with me. Okay, so that's the easy one. Weapons are easy. Alright, so mastermind, you rely on your intellect to craft intricate schemes. So we're going to go a +1. I called intellect reason. A lot of Pathfinder's like social interaction stuff is, I just never use it. I just use roleplay. So all these like, when you try to recall knowledge, blah blah blah. Like I'm never gonna do that. Okay, society does make sense, but I don't want to call it society because one of the things I want to start really working on is trying to get those expertise to be a little more specific than that. So for example, it would be 1 expertise to do with your social environment. Yeah, something like that. That's kind of what I was going for with this. That it's something that, so if you are a political mastermind in Eldercastle, you would have a really good understanding of the political machinations of that strata of society in Eldercastle. If you are running a thieves guild, not that you would be running a thieves guild at first level, but you would have a really good understanding, or maybe you're like a runner for the head of the thieves guild or something like that. You would have a good understanding of that criminal level of society. But it's not like you're trained in society means that you suddenly know every who's who of every city you walk into. That feels not great to me. It just seems, and I get that they were trying to be generalized, but I prefer a more nuanced approach because I'm a nuanced girl. Okay, Arcana, Nature, Occultism. So what we're going to do here is one more expertise regarding your background and too big a jump. It just feels too generalized. It's like people who are good at nature are good at everything to do with nature. And I promise you, if you've ever been around someone who has like a zoology degree, they'll know everything about a particular bug. But if you ask them about elephants, they don't know shit. So I feel like if you have that specialized knowledge about something, you're probably not going to know everything about it. Also, you're likely to know a lot about an environment that you've worked in. So someone in Althea might know a lot about the Althean forest, but they're not going to know a lot if you go to a desert. You know, it doesn't make sense to me. Yeah, exactly. Like and that's kind of how I built Zora, is that she's so obsessed with teleportation that although she knows quite a lot about other arcana things because you would pick up a lot being in that environment, anything outside of that realm of stuff that she's been focused on for almost her entire adult life, she has no idea. So she has shit skills in everything except the things that she's good at, because that's how academics are. As someone who worked an IT help desk at a university, I swear to God, I had a brain surgeon. Literally, he was an emeritus professor in neurosurgery. He was a literal brain surgeon, and he did not know how to attach photos to emails. And he was so apologetic about it, and I was like, bro, I can't do brain surgery. Regarding your background and maybe ambitions. So, something to do with the social environment, and then something. So I'm, again, leaving it open on purpose, because then that becomes a discussion with the DM about, this is who this character is, this is where I've come from. So how do we pick something that fits that? Not just, I know everything about religion. Stupid. Okay, Ruffian is obviously going to have a +1 strength. I'm going to say you get expertise in physical intimidation, because there is more than one kind of intimidation, folks. Oh, expertise in improvised weapons. I like that. In improvised weapons. I don't know about armor expertise, eh? I feel like that might fall under general. Like maybe we just do a general section that has to do with weaponry and just put a note here. Weaponry and armor, because basically every adventurer has some level of these things. So maybe we just keep it straightforward. And then we have additional ones that are specific. Okay, so I've done 2. I'm also going to have to like align these in some way, but maybe we deal with that later. point bonus. Oh, that's not a bad idea too. So what I'm thinking, literally the thought I was just having there, is that maybe we don't have to balance it necessarily in terms of what you have access to, because because it's a skill tree, right? So we can build it as a tree, and then when you choose your subclass, you get a certain number of points to spend on that tree. And so you can take that in whatever direction you want. I'm not going to build that out just yet because this is already getting, oh, I suppose it doesn't really matter. So maybe we do something like this. Pull this over. Look, look! Do as you're told. Pull this over there. We merge that. Find the merge. It says to be there. Alignment. It's an alignment for future reference. Okay, and then, because then what we can do is we're not held to trying to make it all even, you know? There we go. Okay, so here we can go, these are the expertise, and then we can do HP. Like maybe we make it a 1d4 HP. And maybe we make it that is its own thing as well. Then we can make it a cumulative. You can keep doing it. It's not a huge bonus, but it's a bonus. Okay. Scoundrel. So their expert thing, their stat thing must be charisma, right? Let's throw one in there, merge this. So, +1 charisma. Yeah, exactly. Scoundrel. Your timing, girl. I just don't care about off guards and on guards and all that crap. I just don't. I'm very sorry. Maybe what we do is we make feint a thing where when you successfully an opponent, you can force a dex save against your So the idea is you attack them, you hit them, you confuse them with your awesomeness, and potentially get another attack in. That's what I'm going with. And then also do expertise in... See, I feel like deception is fine. Deception, because if you can lie, you can lie. And we're bringing insight back, folks. Insight against... Maybe we just make it insight. So essentially, how well can you lie? How well can you spot a lie? Because I feel like liars are very good at spotting liars. Okay, thief. Oh my god, I didn't mean it. We're going to merge that. Thief is going to get a +1 to Dex, I guess. That makes sense. They will get expertise in pickpocketing or expertise in lockpicking or expertise in I'm gonna just say cat burglary. Burglary. Which would be all the climby, open a window, blah blah blah. Again, these might be choices rather than a line, but we're gonna just leave it like that for now because otherwise it's gonna get nuts. What did we do with the other guys? Yeah. Yep, let's just go with that. You can choose one of them. You are trained in thievery. No shit. I feel like thievery is a... It depends. It depends situation. Okay. We'll just leave that at that for now. Sneak attack we've done already. Sneak attack was a generalized rogue thing, right? Yep. Surprise attack. Gonna leave that alone for now. Okay. Yeah, I think so. It's a specialized skill. Like lockpicking is a specialized skill. So it makes sense to me that that is like a specific thing you learn how to do. I feel like the skills around pickpocketing and the skills around lockpicking and the skills around cat burglary are not necessarily all the same thing. Again, you will have a certain number of points to spend, so potentially you could end up with all of those. But what I'm trying to do is get people to really think about, like, what kind of person is this? Is this the kind of person who climbs buildings and sneaks in through open windows? Is this the kind of person who just walks around on the street bumping into people and taking their shit? Or is this the kind of person who is breaking into safes? Like, yeah, that's the point of this, is to try and get people to really go, who is this person? What do they know how to do? Okay, we don't care about that. We decided weapon tricks were going to be built into this thing, which is not pretty yet, but yeah, so as they go up, and so what I will do is we'll build a weaponry skill tree, which will have, let me make a note for myself. Build weaponry skill tree, which allows for skills connected to expertise levels like trick shots, etc. There we go. That's for future jacks. Problem for future jacks. Debilitating strike. So I don't know if this makes sense to me. This is like a fighter thing. I realize it's at 9th level, but maybe for the assassin. Oh, we just stopped. Haha, there's more jacks. There's more jacks. Keep going. Let's finish this first. I got distracted because I added things that weren't on the list and then didn't make up the stuff for those things. Merge, please. Okay, so assassin will be probably. Yes, that's kind of what I'm thinking. So basically, there would be a skill for each weapon, and it would be like if you're trained, you get this buff, and X number of points to spend on these skills. Yeah. So obviously you can't, if it's a gun, you can do all kinds of cool trick shots and whatever. If it's a sword, I would have to learn about swords to answer that question. Things like two daggers, double-handed stuff. All those things would be built into that tree rather than making it. So you can essentially learn any weapon, but obviously if you're using a giant war axe, you would need a certain level of strength. So there would be prereqs built into that as well. Okay. So assassins would be, they would be able to pick from oh, hang on. So my all-time favorite assassin trick is the surprise sneak attack. I use this with Clara all the time. If a target is surprised, you automatically crit on your first attack. Wait, that's not right. If hit a target who is surprised. I feel like that's how it worked. Yeah, I did a lot of, would you say this person would be surprised to be stabbed by this cute little girl? Okay, expertise in things you can kill with. Expertise in poison. Expertise in stabbing. I don't know. Wow, my brain just went, I don't know how to assassinate people. How does that work? We'll come back to it. We'll come back to it. What? Why did you... What? 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 Okay. Alright, so a spy is probably intellect. Or wisdom. Maybe I'll let you choose. Because it depends on whether you're using... I'm going to do the same thing as I did for Mastermind here. Where are you? This guy. That thing. That big. Okay, and then probably also the deception things. Disguise. You can create and pull off a disguise with minimal resources. I'm actually going to call it improvised disguise. I'm making shit up now. We are off the books. With minimal resources, make a... Oh, I don't know what to make it. Deception, maybe? Deception, no. You know what? We're going to make it crafting. Check. Okay, and then here we will go expertise in disguise. Crafting disguise. Here we go. So this one will have literally only take that one if you've got that one. That's what we're going for. Something like that. Okay. Rogue Resilience. This is what I was talking about. It's just an increase on fortitude saves. They all have something like that. I haven't really done saves at all in this thing yet. Which I probably should. Saves. But we're going to just use the same words because using different words is dumb. And then here... Oh yeah, see I have actually done that. It's built in already. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. That was the thing. Okay. So we can just ignore those on this. Again, this is reflex saves. It's the same thing. Perception increase. Meh. Perception is based on wisdom, isn't it? Traditionally. Yeah. I'm just thinking how to do it because technically it would be a... Maybe we just do what D&D does and have perception as its own thing. Like it's here. Oh, that's under... Like wherever we put, we'll have... It's just... It's also going to be pretty one day. So HP, AC, perception. It is, and I feel like it needs to be... like its own thing for reasons. So I think we're going to do it that way. Perception, and actually also the other thing which I really miss in Pathfinder is having investigation as a separate thing. Not how you spell perception, Jax. Because I feel like those two are different, and it bothers me that they're not treated as different in Pathfinder. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to have those, and perception will be connected to instinct, and investigation will be connected to reason. No, I mean investigation. I've already put insight back in. Because to me, walking into a room and having a sense of what's going on in the room is perception. Walking into a room and specifically looking for a particular clue is investigation. And they're different skills, and they should be treated as different skills. But in Pathfinder, it's all the same thing. And I don't like that. I don't like it. Okay, so the perception buffs would be here then. Probably here. But so basically you would just spend that point on that as you wish. Sure, but it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Like, Lorelei is very perceptive, but it doesn't make sense that that makes her good at finding a clue in it. You know, I don't buy it. I don't buy it. Okay, so reflex, perception, armor, we've dealt all of those things. Proficiency ranks for weapons we're doing differently. Opportunistic attacks are particularly... is debilitating strike... Oh no, that's different. Okay. Again, that doesn't feel boogie to me. Will saves. Do you see what I mean? They're all just the same stuff over and over again. Master Strike. Vibe checking people. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And in Pathfinder that's the same check. And I don't buy it. It doesn't make sense. See, all of these feel, I guess this is what I mean about the like auto skills you get. I'm just like, I don't feel like this should just be a given. I just don't. Okay. Yeah, it's dumb. Right. So, feats. This is where it gets interesting because this is now where I'm gonna need a whole page for each class at this rate. Shit, where am I trying to go? This. So, the thing we need to work out is with feats. I wonder if we. Oh gosh. Sorry, my brain is like, ah. Yeah, it's beginning to look that way. It's beginning to look that way. Which is fine. Um, that's the point of doing this, is to just figure out the best way to. Because, like, the first level feats are very, like, where are we going with this? Um, okay. I also prefer feats that are, like, again, a lot of Pathfinder feats feel really like they're things that I would usually just do with RP. Um, not necessarily the ones we're looking at right now, but there's a lot of like, when you're looking for information, you can blah 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 blah, and it's like, well, maybe actually play the game instead of just be. I feel like it was built for people who just want to go, I'm going to use this skill and not actually role play the skill. So that's a play style thing, I think. General rogue and subclass only feats. Yes, so the idea would be that there are some feats. That's kind of what I'm trying to figure out how best to lay it out. There are, so if you think about like a game skill tree, um, there would be some that stack. So it would be like you have to take this one in order to take these, um, and you would. But again, these are intended to be, so they would be a combination of skills and expertise depending on how we're working it. But they would be story driven. So if you tell me I'm going to take this feat, I'm going to be like, why? Why are you suddenly able to do this thing? It needs to make sense. But I feel like it's going to get real wide, which is not, again, not necessarily a problem. Um, but yeah. Okay. So I guess we just build and see where we end up. So this is just essentially what's that thing in D&D? The dodge. The dodge thing. Wow. Evasion? Is that what it's called? Anyway, we'll go with this. So let's go dodge, evade. Yeah, I know. The boons were kind of intended that way too. Like, and I know that in season one, the first few I did were way too OP, and I learned very quickly to make them quite specific. And I feel like that was the start of this was this idea that um, you uh, yeah, like the things you do teach you stuff, and they may or may not come in handy later. Yes, I know dodge and evasion are different, but what I'm doing is this is all ways of getting out the way. So I'm going to put them in the same place, and there may be some that you have to have like there are prerequisites, but for now I'm just going to put them in a row. So I'm going to just steal their words for now. Nimble, dodge. When a creature attacks you and you can see the attacker, you can use a reaction to dodge, adding 2 to your AC for this attack. Giant crabs. I know, and it's funny because the things people like that the mission was a book. The mission was a book? What do you mean the mission was a book? Oh, for a book. I don't remember what mission that was. Ah, that was the crazy druid lady. Hey, I do remember this now. So we had the feats somewhere, didn't we? See, like this one, it makes sense to me that it's built into here. Okay, we're going to have to start doing this so that I can merge and center. I just want to merge. I am sometimes astonished at the things I get away with, if I'm perfectly honest with you. Alright, I'm just going to make the skill so that we can actually read what we're doing, because otherwise it's going to be annoying. Okay, so overextending feint. So I said, when you successfully attack an opponent, you can force a dex save against your dex DC. On a fail, you get an extra attack. Oh, okay. Yep. Alright. So, overextending feint. This is a logical progression of the previous one. When you use feint successfully, receive the following additional advantages. Ah, I always press the wrong thing. Roll. That's definitely not funny. Sorry, but that's probably going to get me copyright struck, Veritas. Thank you though. Advantages on a crit success. Seriously? Is it control enter? Shift enter? No. There's a way to get it to go to the next line. That's fine. We'll just do it this way. Crit. Success. The target takes a tax on you, have a -2 debuff. Yep. Gonna just do that. Just do that. So essentially it just gives you a crit success bonus, basically. Cool. Plant evidence. You can put a single item you're holding of light or negligible bulk onto a person without them noticing. By succeeding at a thievery check against their perception DC. If you're ruffian racket, you can do this as a free action when you successfully shove a target. Oh, I missed a whole lot. I'm trying to think what I want to play next. Should I finally play a spellcaster? If you never played a spellcaster, considering a wizard. In my home game, I just did monk and bard. Horde, I was rogue, warlock, and cleric. Make a poll. Honestly, it's probably going to be more that I'm going to build the rogue, and then I'm going to probably build rogue. What else do we have here? Let me go back here. This is an easier list to look at. I'm going to probably build rogue, cleric, and rogue, sorcerer, because I know sorcerers, and then some kind of fighter. Do I not even have fighter in there? Oh no, I do. Rogue, sorcerer, fighter, as the like basic, like the three different things. The like Dexy, sneaky, fighty, smashy, magic. Those are going to be the three I probably do first. And then I'm going to go, okay, let's playtest this. So I'm going to be looking for 3 people to each take one of those and build characters and playtest it. So those are going to be your starting options. Pick your starting Pikachu. And then we'll playtest that to see how the system works. And then make whatever tweaks we need to and then expand from there. Because the cleric is going to be a mission to build because, the sorcerer has similar problem because of the source of the magic. But to do the cleric, I have to have my pantheon completely completed. And while the Azurhia pantheon is actually in pretty good shape, there are things I still want to add to it. So, okay, where were we? How did I wait? Do I have that? Yes, I do. That's why. Okay, so plant evidence. Oh, I feel like that's just a. Maybe we. Oh, that should be merged. You know a guy. Is it you? Yeah. Yep. That will be a Tuesday, because that's world building stuff. Okay. So what I'm gonna do here is maybe this is a thief thing, actually. Maybe we put this here. So plant evidence. I don't know that this even needs to be a thing. Like, surely if you have pickpocketing and you want to do this, just say, I want to do this, and Jack says, make a pickpocketing check. Just because you're putting something in instead of... See, this is what I mean. I feel like this is one of those things that's like, why do you need a special feat for this? It doesn't really make sense to me. I'm not... No. Okay, Trap Finder. A lot of fighters. I just don't get to play characters that much. I play a lot of NPCs. The only characters I've played for any length of time were Shadow, who was a Shadow sorcerer, and Kalara, who was a rogue. I made a warlock for the home game we were playing with the kids, but it never really took off, and now I've taken over as DM because Adam always wants to DM, but he doesn't actually like it. Okay, so Trap Finder does make sense to me as a thing. So Trap Finder. I feel like you've done a really good job with Lorelei. I feel like you've been really true to the character, even when it was frustrating for you as a player. Because I know that I am one of those drop a lot of hints and wait and see if people pick them up DMs, and it's hard to play. It's hard when you're a player who enjoys that and picks up a lot of the hints, but your character is unlikely to do so. And I feel like you've nailed that because I know that Shauna Lee has picked up stuff that Lorelai hasn't, um, and I think that that's admirable because there are a lot of players who will still um, be like, oh, I know that thing, even though there's no reason their specific character would have put those like made those connections. Okay, so trap finder, +1 to it's going to be investigation to find traps. You also gain the expertise in disabling traps mundane, because I feel like they should be separate, which means I'm going to put expertise in trap, what did I say? Disabling traps mundane, and then we're going to have as a separate thing expertise in disabling. That's not how you spell disabling. Disabling traps magic, because I feel like those are different things. Just pull this over to merge the thingy. Yeah, maybe. I struggle with wizards. Wizards don't come easy to me. Okay. Let's go advanced trap finder. Gives you an additional +1 to investigation to find traps. You may increase add a disabling traps expertise. Yeah. So essentially what that means is if you've done the mundane one, you can potentially either increase to the magic one or just add or increase. Does that make sense? I don't know if I'm making sense. Did you really just say still goes that Riz? What are you, 12? Oh, funny. Okay. I don't like the tumble stuff. Sorry, Matt. I know you use it all the time. But it's complicated. Got that Riz. Still, though. Man, that's a word my children use. Yes, I'm old. Okay, you tumble and then 100 for yeah, I don't. The on guard off guard thing annoys me. Just no. Maybe I'll build that in later. Twin feint. Use an attack with one weapon to distract your foe from a second attack. No, I understand, and you use what you have, but it feels really unnecessarily complicated, and that's the thing I'm trying to avoid. I do like the multiple attack penalty. That does make sense to me. But I think I'm bringing advantage back. Advantage just feels like an easier way of handling these things. Okay, after dining a foe, I do too. I don't remember what I said that made you say I do too. Pathfinder. Yeah, again, that's the thing I'm probably going to keep. The like three, you have three, choose wisely. And I like the. Oh, is that what you were saying? I do too. The attack, the multiple attack penalty. It just makes sense to me that if you're making several attacks in quick succession, they're not all going to be as effective as the like. Yeah. So I think I should write these things down. Write these things down. I need like I'm gonna make another one. Insert worksheet. Go. This is going to be called notes for later. Where I just put notes. There will be many notes for later. Okay, so advantage is coming back. We like advantage. It just makes things easier. Wrap, please. We are keep multiple attack penalty. Action. Economy is still do 3 things. Alarm is going off, but I don't actually have to. D&D, the fact that Indigo with their decks could not attack multiple times. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I feel like it's about making things make sense. Make things make sense. Do 3 things. Oh shit! What have I done? So this would be action or movement. Is then bonus. Essentially, what would normally be bonus action is. Look. Why are you giving me grief? Yeah. And then there are also reactions. Yeah. I struggle with when I'm trying to. Depends on the NPCs in play. Like some people are reactive. So if I'm not getting anything back, it's really hard to play someone whose inclinations are reactive, if that makes sense. Like Jade is reactive. Jade is very seldom going to step forward unless there's a reason. Jade is very much a sit in the shadowy corner and just watch things kind of character. So it's just okay. What else have I said we need to do that I haven't written down? No, I know you shouldn't. Jade is so unhealthy and bad. Anyway, okay, what are we doing? Perception. I'm trying to remember what else I said I was going to do. That's fine. This is why we have this tab now, so I can write it down. Okay, you're next. You're next. This seems like a bruiser thing. What was he called? Ruffian thing. Oh, I didn't give him a thing for this. Yeah, you guys. Okay. Because this is just an intimidation. intimidate one of their allies and gain advantage on your next attack against them. Essentially the thing. I guess that means we have to have psychological intimidation as a thing too. How do you spell psychological? Psychological. That. Yes, exactly. That's why I'm separating them out. Because one is I'm just a big bully who's going to smack you against a wall, and one is I'm going to fuck with your brain. And they are not the same. Well, that brings us to the second level feat, so I might use that as a good stopping point. I feel like we've done good work today. Good work, team! We have done level 1 rogue. We have such a long way to go, but that's fine. This is really the nitty-gritty now, is building this stuff. I feel like once we've got these skill trees, or at least the beginning of the skill trees figured out, going back to our main character and just kind of rebuilding this spreadsheet so that it looks character sheety, and maybe building in the like the formulas and stuff. Did you have weapon stuff? I put it here. Where did I put it? There. Oh yeah, I should put the note in the right place though, shouldn't I? Copy. Delete. Notes for later. And then there'll also be an armor. Build armor skill tree. Yeah. Because we're going to do weapons and armor here. I don't remember what I was doing here. Oh, these were just general. Yeah, okay. Yep. And then this will also be our like stat stuff. It's kind of looking like the book PDF I sent you. Yeah, I haven't actually managed to look at it yet. I need to do that because I feel like it may have already done some of the work for me, which is cool. I like how AC scales. I don't remember how AC scales. How does AC scale? Oh, you just get an extra one for each level, hey? Is that correct? Yeah, I'll try and have a look at it this weekend. We don't have the kids, and I've got all the videos uploaded now, so we just need to get the dome to come down, and then we can move on to the actual like closing down of things. And the dome is close, I think. I think it's very close. You are only selling him harder. He's such a dickhead, though. Like, he only cares about 2 people in the whole world. He does have some awesome story juice. Like, awesome story juice that has just... And I don't know if it's ever even going to be relevant to the main story, but... yeah. Jade... I enjoy changelings. There's probably a reason that my most... Who? Who what? Who what? That my most... He... Oh, yes, sorry. He, they, at the moment. Like I said, I think I said this yesterday. That Jade's attitude to gender is the way you think about clothes. Like, today's a jeans day. Jade's like, today's a boy day. Today's a girl day. Today's a let's leave them guessing day. Which makes pronouns tricky, but the current face, the current main face is they tending masculine. They tending masculine. So he they. Which is interesting because I think that Shawnee, your image, the image you drew of Jade was tending feminine. And that's fine like that because Jade would probably move along that spectrum depending on the day. I mean, you say that, but Jade really doesn't like indigo. And I'm a little sad about it, but that was the natural response to the situation. And I think it's because I didn't intend Jade not to like indigo, but that's what happened. And I think it's because of indigo's connections with Titania and obvious friendship with the current Oberon. Um, that is the problem. I also really want to do some. I got real tired last night, but I really want to do some essentially inside checks for Jade on whether putting those faces on like had an impact. Because Jade's good at spotting those things, even though Indigo's good at hiding them. So it would be an interesting little thing. I felt like it was a little bit feminine. I don't know. Again, it doesn't like it's Jade, so it really doesn't matter. Um, but my mental image is a little more masculine, I guess. But that's the beautiful thing about having people make art of my characters is that they reinterpret them, and that's always fun. I loved your art of the singer. I nearly said Angeline, but not Angeline. Aralea, which was nothing like my mental image, and yet when I looked at it, I was like, oh, this is gorgeous. Yes. Um, anyway, I'm going to call it there because my brain's getting tired, and we've got to the end of the first level feats, so that seems like a good place to pause and come back to it next week. I finished Stray Gods last night on Twitch, and it was beautiful, although I had some issues with the final act. But that's fine. And yeah, I'll be back on Tuesday and Thursday next week. Tuesday doing world buildy stuff, Thursday doing game buildy stuff, and eventually, hopefully, we will be able to do some playtesting, which would be a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Thanks for hanging. It's nice to do these. I feel like I'm actually making progress because I am doing them regularly. Otherwise, I just never get around to it, and then it just sits there forever. So, it's cool. I love you guys. Thank you for hanging with me. You're awesome. And I will catch you in Discord probably very, very soon. Adios.